Hey, Jeremiah, I'm looking at the clock. It is 1 o'clock Eastern time. That means 12 noon Central, 11 in the morning Mountain time, and 10 in the morning Pacific time. It's a Thursday. Time for Ask Me Anything. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dana, KC0MYP, with my co host, Jeremiah, W9JAM. Goes really good on toast.
I don't know about that
Oh,
last
Lordy.
part.
Anyway, we are here because if you have questions, we're hopefully that we can come up with the answers for you and ask me anything. Welcome if you're watching us on our Facebook group, if you're live on YouTube or on our website. If you have a question, post it in the chat. And before we take the first question, I just want to bring up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific is our weekly BCU live show. We have a new product announcement that's going to be pretty exciting. We even have a special guest host that's going to be nice. But tune
hmm
in because normally it's only for BC Plus members. That's our membership program that they get special benefits like weekly training with us. But it's open to anyone tonight, and you can watch us on the Facebook group page. You can watch us on the YouTube on our live channel, as well as also on the website. So tune in tonight. It is going to be a lot of fun. Also, want to bring up, in case you guys didn't know this, we offer advanced tech support. In other words, advanced tech calls. Jeremiah, you want to tell me a little bit about this, how it works?
Well, when somebody is either out of warranty or they got their radio from somewhere other than Bridgecom and they're needing help with it, or their hotspot, as long as it's a Pi-Star based hotspot, in most cases, I'm able to do a remote session with them that we get in the computer, we get their code plug fixed, or we troubleshoot what's going on with the radio in the CPS software, walk through some firmware updates, and even try and get their hotspot set back up if it was working but wasn't working now, um, so they can get back online and hopefully make it easier for them to enjoy the radio that they do have, even if they didn't get it from Bridgecom. And it's one of the services we offer. It is a paid service. It's $80 for an hour, but that gets you a one-on-one session with the tech. And right now, that is me. Spaces are limited for those. So if you want to take and get signed up for one of those, go to the website, and in the search bar, you can go to um, advanced tech call. There is an option for a 30-minute one, but that is for follow-up calls, not the main calls. So if it's a follow-up where something was wrong with the computer, that's what the follow-up's for. If we need to go even deeper into stuff, or it's a reoccurring problem. Um, but for first-time calls, it is the $80. But we do take and make sure that we do everything we can to assist you so you're able to enjoy the equipment that you got, even if you didn't get it from us.
And I piggybacked on you in one of the calls. You do a great job, and it is you make it fun. You solve the problem in a nutshell. And best of all, just go to bridgecomsystems.com in the search bar at the top, type in advanced tech call, and you can just follow the prompts and get with Jeremiah to schedule it. It is really cool. Also, want to bring up too, if you haven't joined our Bridgecom Plus membership program, that's a lot of fun. There's a tab on the website, Bridgecom Systems, so that you can learn more about it. We offer monthly program or monthly payments yearly, as well as one and done with a lifetime payment. I'm a lifetime member. I did that last year, so pretty cool. And if you haven't checked out our training at Bridgecom University, check it out. We are one of the only ones that do pretty involved training for any of the products you buy from us.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of videos to help you get started. take you from unboxing the radio to putting in your DMR ID into the radio for the first time if you didn't order a plug and play package, which we do have those where you send us the information, we program the radio and the SkyBridge for you, and all you've got to do is plug in the power, plug in your Ethernet cable, and charge up the battery on your radio, turn it on, and you can start talking to people within like 5 minutes.
So I bought a plug and play. It is so easy. And what Jeremiah just said, you give the information needed. When you get the equipment, plug it in, turn it on, you're ready to go. It is that simple.
And if you need any help, we've got tech support that you can contact. Tech support is free with the plug and play packages, as well as the Anytones that you get from us. So if you get a radio and you get stuck and you're like, okay, I'm not getting what the course is trying to teach me here, I need just a little bit of hand holding, go ahead and go to support.bridgecomsystems.com/KB-tickets/new. Put in your order number, your contact information, what the problem is you're having, and we will get you a support ticket so we can take and get with you, schedule a time, and get you up and running.
That is good to know. By the way, Jeremiah, on the comment, Steve Leffler says, Jeremiah, missed you last week on BC Plus. Glad you're better now. See, people care about it. And Berto, he said he's going to be on tonight. Good. Looking forward to seeing you. Let's take our first question I see from James Knox. Says he has a 30-foot fiberglass push-up pole, resonant half-wave dipole antenna at 145.51 megahertz. It's 38.6 inches. He wants to know, can he put a dipole vertical at the tip of the pole? He's trying to get more distance in simplex mode.
He should be able to. The one thing that I would be concerned about is making sure that pole's not flexing a lot. The other thing is make sure you've got good quality coax connected to the feed point on that dipole. But other than that, it should work fine.
By the way, I also want to add something too. This is something that you and I get a lot. Whatever you do, if you're programming your radio, this is different. Back up, back up, back up. Back up your code plug. Back up if you're using the SkyBridge, back up the software, because it'll save your butt more times than you can realize on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something very important is to remember that. Back up everything before you make any changes.
Smart move there. Let's see here. We got a question from Rob. Rob says he's trying to get a TYT MD750 to work with his Jumbo Spot USB hotspot and Blue DV. The radio sends audio fine, but the radio does not give me an audio out. First, Jeremy, before you answer it, will you want to explain what Blue DV is, in case people aren't aware of that?
Actually, I've never used one of those. So I know a little bit about what the Jumbo Spot is, but as far as Blue DV, I've never used that. So that sounds like it's a configuration issue with the hotspot itself. I would double check your configuration, and the biggest thing to double check is if you're using the Brandmeister network, make sure you check the hotspot security password and make sure that it is set in the software and it matches what you have on brandmeister.network under self-care in the hotspot security area. You want to make sure those passwords both match, because if they don't, it will not send you audio back.
Also, speaking of Brandmeister, do you want to go over real quick what they'd made a change a couple weeks ago on their API? You want to explain what that is?
Yes. So the API is the interface that allows you to basically control whether you have a static or a dynamic talk group set on your SkyBridge or hotspot. The API key is what allows the SkyBridge software or Pi-Star software to talk to the Brandmeister network and receive those remote commands from the hotspot. So instead of logging into brandmeister.network to disconnect from a static talk group or set a static talk group, which is a talk group that's always active, instead of having to key it up on demand, which most of your talk groups are, this allows you to set it in your software so it's there every time you boot up the hotspot. It automatically sets it up, you're done. And then you can have, I believe it's 6 total now is what they've limited it to for static talk groups. So you're able to set a receive group in your radio with all of those talk groups in it. And then whenever traffic comes across one of those talk groups and the time slot is open, you'll actually hear it on your radio.
I use that quite a bit on my, well, I got multiple radios, but like on my 878. Statewide Michigan, Brandmeister 3126 is static on mine, as well as the UP channel 31268. So cool. Thank you for the information on that one. All right, let's look here. Hey, here's a question from last week. Ken wants to know, did we figure out a way to do a VFO scan? That was his questions from the last AMA.
Bear with me 1 second.
As he's looking for him right there. Ken, we don't always forget you, but sometimes we don't have a way to reach back out to you unless we're talking on the AMA or if you're a Bridgecom Plus member. So we do the weekly shows on that one, but Jeremiah is checking as we speak right now about how to do a VFO scan, because I know you can put in a range to scan from or a bunch of frequencies you program in your radio.
And my key functions are all messed up for some reason.
Hey, I got a really good tech guy you could talk to.
Yeah, I haven't been playing with my radio much. I've been fixing other people's radios, so fixing my own radio's kind of taken a sidestep.
Is that like the shoe repairman? Everyone's shoes in town are great except for his kids, because he works in everyone else's but his family's. So
yeah, something like that. Whoops. Let's see here.
Stand by, Ken. Jeremiah. Boy, I still mix you and Jeremy up from way back when. I had to figure out who I was talking to, but Jeremiah is trying to get it to fly on his radio. And if you do have a question, put that in the chat. We'll get to them as we work our way down the list. Okay, so what did you find out?
I actually have it doing a VFO scan right now. And I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not because of the glare, but...
Explain the process, that how you were able to get it into the VFO scan mode for Ken.
Okay, so I have P2 long set in the CPS software, and on the radio, I was able to do it from the front panel of the radio to VM slash or V slash MR, which is VFO or memory recall. And then I set P2 short to scan. So when it's in VFO and it says VFO on the radio, you just tap the P2 key one time and it starts scanning the frequency range that you're on. Now you can customize how long that is in the code plug, like what's area of the frequency range. And that antenna wobbling around like that's going to get on my nerves real quick. Let's move that over to the side. It's like, ooh, shiny. But you can go into the software where it's got the VFO options and set the frequency range you want it to be able to scan in between. So you can narrow that down so it's only scanning between, let's say, 442 or 440 through 444 or 448. Mm-hmm. So it's not scanning that whole receive frequency range of 420 through 480 or 400 through 480 megahertz.
You just specify where you want it to scan between, and it will do that. By the way, you mentioned something earlier about a long press and a short press. Explain, those are hotkeys, and you can program them via the CPS or even via the keypad, if I'm not mistaken. But explain the hotkeys and a short press versus a long press.
Short press is a single quick press. A long press is a 2-second press. meaning you press and hold the button for 2 seconds. You can set the same button to do 2 different functions based on either a long press or a short press, which is what I did with the P2 key on my keyboard on my radio. So that is something you can do with the P1, the P2, PF1, PF2, or the button on top, the green or blue button depending on your radio, or teal depending on which model it is, or which series in the model it is, because sometimes they change the color, but it's still the same model, as we have discovered based on the manufacture date. This is PF3. I actually set PF3 for my quick disconnect. So when I'm on a talk group, I just press that while nobody's talking. It'll say PC 4000 disconnect on my screen, and then I hit the push to talk real quick, and it disconnects me from that talk group on my hotspot. So that's a quick disconnect instead of having to go in, go through the channels, find the one that says TG disconnect, and that's how I do that. But short press versus long press, you've got your PF3, PF1, PF2, P1, and T2 buttons on the 878 that can all be set for either a short press or a long press. Now, there is a feature, I'm trying to remember what it is. If you set that up on the button, it will disable the short press. I believe it's monitor.
And also, those work on the 578 too.
Yes.
The quick the hotkeys. Hey, you know what we should do on
the BTO1? You've got the P1 or the PF1, PF2, PF3 keys on the side. These can be set for 3 different presses: a short press, a long press, and a longer press, which is 3 seconds. So you can get 9 different functions on 3 different keys.
That is good to know. I wasn't aware of that.
Yep.
By the way, you know what we should do for a BC Plus show? Let's talk hotkeys and show them how to set that up.
Okay.
That might be cool. Ken had a follow-up question. Well, he had a follow-up question for you on that real quick. So he needs to be in VFO mode?
Correct.
What frequency does he set? Well, it depends what he wants to listen to, but you set the upper and the lower.
Let me pull up my 878 software real quick and share the screen on it. So I can take and show you exactly where to go to set the frequency range for scanning. Real quick for Steve Bishop, no, that rumor is false. We did not get out of the 1.25 meter business. We actually have 220 repeaters and 220 specific radios.
While you're looking at that, Rob also says the Blue DV is a program for a computer which allows the hotspot to interface with the interface with the system. And he has all Brandmeister settings and password correct on that. Okay, are you sharing your screen?
Here in just a second. Let's see if that popped up or not. No, it did not. Uno momento, por favor.
It's amazing what happens when you're live. Sometimes things jump. You want to come back to that?
Yep,
take another question?
Just a second here, and I'm going to have that fixed.
Okay. Here's an audio question while I am Boo Bear. Is the support the same for anyone who bought on the Amazon store? He's still trying to understand code plug. So they buy from us on Amazon. Support is still the same, correct?
Yes. The only thing they need to make sure of is they have their Amazon order number, so they can take and put that in on the ticket, so we can look up the warranty to make sure it's still under warranty. So if there's a problem that needs to be RMA'd, we can get it taken care of for you. So
know.
your order number usually starts with a 111, a 112, 113, 114, and so on.
That's on Amazon, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So
All right.
Ken,
All right.
real
What are you
quick for
showing
you.
us?
So this is the optional setting page, and how you get to that is you actually come over here in the CPS, click on optional setting, and then click VFO scan. I do this on the right page. And then right here is your VFO scan start frequency and your stop frequency for UHF, and then your start frequency and your end frequency for VHF. So let's say I wanted to take and set this to start scanning at 440 megahertz, and I wanted to stop scanning at 449 megahertz. That's how I do that. I click OK, and then I go click the button for the COM port, which my radio is not connected right now, but I would select the COM port from my radio, which I believe on my computer is COM port 5 or COM port 7. I got to look. But click on it, click OK, and then click the little icon that is an arrow pointing to the radio. It'll say write to radio, and write that to the radio. And then the next time you do the VFO scan, it'll limit it to that frequency range when it scans. That way you don't have that whole 400 to 480 megahertz receive frequency that it's trying to scan. Same thing with the VHF. You can set it to limit it to, let's say, 144 through 148. So Ken, hopefully that helps. As far as your frequency, what frequency do you set? You can start it on any frequency that is in the 70 centimeter or 2-meter bands.
That's good to know. Thank you, Jeremiah, for answering that one. Let's take a look at our next question. And by the way, if you have a question, put it in the chat so we can see it and answer it. Jeremiah, speaking of questions, how do they, if they want to submit a question before the show starts, what do they have to do?
All right. Well, what they can do is they can go to bridgecomsystems.com, and I will actually get the page pulled up here. And they're going to click on resources, or excuse me, BCU Live, and Ask Me Anything live stream. And then they're going to click submit questions for next AMA.
Can you show that on the screen or put
Yes,
the link?
I can.
Because sometimes you have a question. We're not live. We only do this show every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can come right here. You can click submit questions for next AMA. And I will, let me get that out of there real quick. That little pop-up is our 3-step guide. So if you're new to DMR, you can take and use that to help you get started with DMR. But what I'm going to do real quick is bring this down and put this in the banner on the screen. So,
by the way, we do try and make DMR easy. It can be tricky at times, but if you've used regular amateur radio and you've got to program your radio, you don't have to use the radio. You can use the computer to make it easier. And if the settings are just about the same, they may be called something different, but it's actually pretty easy. Secondly, we can do it with that plug and play package. Man, they program the radio. They make it real easy. But you know what? There's always something new that comes out. So it's good to know how to do stuff. Jeremiah,
yes.
You were saying?
One thing you can do on the website is if you're on the Ask Me Anything page, you can actually scroll down, and right here is where you can actually sign up as well for Bridgecom Plus. So here is where you can take, and the link on the screen right now is where you can go to view us live on the website when we're doing the AMA, or you can go to submit your AMA question on Bridgecom's website.
Which is you see it in red on the screen right there.
Yep. Or the link directly in the ticker down at the bottom of the screen now.
And also, I like it too. You also have in there, you can visit the YouTube channel that we have on that one. Okay, let's go back to Jerry's question. It says, it is his understanding that Bridgecom has an offer to upgrade the 878 when purchasing a SkyBridge, unless the original purchase included the SkyBridge/878 package.
Okay.
And
I'm a little confused on that one because our upgrade package for the SkyBridge, you've got two different packages. You can do the full plug and play upgrade, which means you already have an 878 and you want to get a new SkyBridge or a newer SkyBridge. You can send the radio in and get it programmed with the new SkyBridge. And then we have just the regular plug and play package where you get the radio and the SkyBridge together.
SkyBridge.
And
by the way, if they do send it in, we make sure the firmware's up to date also on the radio.
Right. So if you send your radio in, make sure you check your firmware version first. And if it is not the current version listed on our website, go ahead and download the newest CPS file. So you've got it when you get your radio back, because that will be what's on your radio when you get it back.
And you need that to program it to make any changes to it or to update your digital contacts.
Yes.
So the question for James Knox, he submitted a question on the website before the AMA started. Why don't you just go ahead and put it in chat? Unless, Jeremiah, you want to go try and check on that, or you want it in chat? What would be better for you?
Bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Feedback survey. Ask me anything. For some reason, it did not come through on the website.
So, James, go ahead and put your question in chat, and we will get to it.
Yes, please.
Let's see.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Things happen. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time, and 5 Pacific, we are doing our Bridgecom University live show where we have a new product announcement. Anyone can see it, not just BC Plus members, anyone. We hope you come back tonight to see it. We got some cool product we're going to introduce, and we've got a special guest host coming. It's going to be worth it. Check it out. Let's see here. Rob has a question. He may need to configure the hotspot via Wi-Fi. Fusion works best. It's not really a question. It's more of a statement, I would say.
Yeah. As far as that goes, with the jumbo spot stuff, I would need to get in there to actually see, because I've never messed with the jumbo spot, but as long as it's Pi-Star based, I'll be able to get stuff working on it 9 times out of 10.
And by the way, here's an interesting question, because Jeremiah and we're both wearing these cool headsets, and I actually have a pretty good speaker system with microphone, but you get an echo. And Jeremiah, on my first day of work, says, you got to get a headset. Amazon, he sent me the link for it, and I'm having a blast. This thing is really cool. Yes. Yeah, it looks like we're Star Trekkers or something like that. You know, Captain, beam me up. But
so I just saw the comment somebody posted. May or may not be. You'll have to tune in to find out. So the headset that I'm wearing and that Dana's wearing is the M102 headset. The company name starts with an E, but they did make a change to the headset because the noise cancellation is not as good as what it once was. I have one of their earlier versions of the headsets, and it works great. It works with my 878, but I've been getting people that have contacted me and said that they cannot get the headset to work with their 878s now. So what I would recommend, and it is a little bit of money, but it does work with my 878, is actually the Plantronics Poly Voyager 5200 headset. This one right here. It is noise canceling, and it is micro USB charge. So, or you can get the one with the case where you just set it down in it and it charges it. But it actually works with the push to talk button, which is right here, and my 878. If you give me a second, I will flip this around and put it on and turn it on, connect it to the 878, and hopefully you guys will be able to actually hear the audio from doing a carrot
And
test.
while you're doing that real quick, the company is EK Van Bell or Van Bell? Ek Van Bell, I think is how you put it. So interesting. It's a good headset. I'm having a blast. It's a USB-C charger.
Mhm.
Pretty cool.
All right.
All right.
Waiting.
Go ahead and give her a shot.
Well, I'm waiting on the radio to boot back up.
It does take a little bit of time on those. By the way, you should always, when you fire up your radio, always go to the Parrot channel, check it to make sure that you are connected to either a hotspot or a repeater. That's one way to find out. And in the background, you can hear I got my 578 monitoring my local 2-meter repeater. All right, you fired up over there?
Yep. So I need to turn on my push to talk button and switch this back to.
By the way, those push to talks come with our 878 units, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they do, and it comes with 578 too.
They make it easy. That's a nice little add-on that is included.
I'm going to turn up the volume on this. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this real well, but we'll see how this works. I'm going to have to hold the speaker like this so it comes out of the microphone, the headphone here, but we'll try this. W9JM testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1.
Don't hear it.
Why
Live
is it whenever
TV.
I try to do a live test, it never works? But as soon as we turn off the video, it works.
That's when you take your car to the car mechanic. It never does what happened. So.
Yeah, I'm going to try this again.
So anyway, if you go to Amazon, and we're not trying to push Amazon, but we find they have it.
JM test.
Product easy. Oh, you know what? Oh, we don't have the link on that.
I know what it is. The Bluetooth on my computer connected to it.
Hey, were you doing that? I'm going to go to Amazon real quick. I don't want to redeem. Give me just a minute, people. Let me get into my orders. I'll get you the link for the radio. I ordered too much stuff. All right, let's get back to the show. In the chat, here's the link for the Amazon headset that both Jeremiah and I are wearing. All right, next question we have is from Wallace. Wallace, thanks for you. And if you do have a question, post it in the chat. We'll get to them as quick as we can. Could you explain TO, CO, and SE scan modes?
Bear with me just a moment. Let me get that pulled back up here.
And that's something I don't know. I'm going to learn something on this one.
So TO, when scanning a signal, the radio will pause scanning for a while and then resume scan. CO, when scanning a signal, radio will pause scanning and resume until the signal is disappeared for 2 seconds. And in SE, when scanning a signal, the radio will stop scanning when it receives a signal. So those are the descriptions from Anytone themselves. So
That's good. Hopefully, Wallace, that answered the question on that one. Barry says, already asked on the website, but I don't see it. So how do I configure the up and down buttons on the 578 mic? I don't see an entry for them on the key functions tab, and they currently have no effect. So 578 radio, not with the Bluetooth, but with the standard microphone. He wants to know, how do you configure those for the key functions, or in other words, the hotkey functions?
They cannot be configured for the hotkey functions. They are set statically to up and down.
And if I'm the hotkey on the 578, you have to go to the radio itself where you have those buttons.
Correct, but you can set a long press on your PA, PB, PC, and PD keys. So let me see if I can get my microphone in frame here. You can actually set these for a long press. So PA, PB, PC, and PD for a 2-second press. So these can act like long press keys for you.
Ah, that's good to know.
So you don't have to actually hit the P1 through P6 on the radio itself.
And you know what? Rose put something that's good to know. Check the key lock switch on the side of the 578 mic. I've been caught with that where, hey, it's not working. Adjust that switch so it will work. So, Rose, thank you for sharing that. That is a good hint and tip to use on that one. James Knox has a question. You are continuing. Can I send 878 RF output to an external amplifier to get more than 7 watts?
I am not aware of a DMR amplifier right now that will work. If you're in analog, there are other ones that you can use. You'll just need the adapters. But if you're trying to do it with DMR, it will not work unless somebody has developed an amplifier that does work for DMR. Because DMR is a constant on, off, on, off, on, off versus a constant carrier. So it won't keep the amplifier keyed correctly.
And you know that's radio. AM radio is your amplitude modulation, where DMR is FM, where it's better sound quality, better signal quality.
Yep.
So, let me see here. Next question I see is from is it Bobear? Yep. I love the PTP button. That's the push to talk button. Can you pair it with a Bluetooth to iPods? And I would say the answer is yes, but let's go to Jeremiah.
The device drivers or the type of Bluetooth protocol that the AirPods use is different than what the Anytones are capable of. So AirPods, AirPod Pros, AirPod Pro, or the Max, whatever they call them, the ones that look kind of like these headsets, only bigger, they will not work with the Anytones. I have tried and tried and tried. I am an Apple person, not an Android person, and I spent so much time trying that I think I broke my AirPods because they eventually wouldn't charge because they were constantly dying because I was trying every day to figure out what was wrong. So I eventually wore out the batteries in them. So, oops.
I'm trying to get them over to join the Android universe again, but who knows?
Hey, I have an Android tablet.
There you go. Hey, by the way, Barry Kelman wrote back, thanks to the tip from your Rose, about the key lock switch on the side of the microphone that we talked about earlier. They hit the tip on that one.
Yep.
Let's go to Ned's question. But if you have a question, put it in the chat for us. We'll get to you. Ned says the 878 and 578 question for the two radios, handheld and mobile. Roaming zones. How do I switch from one roaming zone to another on the fly via the radio? And remember, we're talking 2 radios, either the 878 or the 578. He has 3 different zones, or 3 zones for different areas, but not able to choose which one is being used. What
Um,
would you say, Jeremiah?
that's a really good question. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer on that one because I have yet to mess with any of the roaming. Um, I don't have my radio set up in my car right now to where I could actually use the roaming to move between repeaters because there should be a GPS based roaming to automatically go from repeater set to repeater set. Um, so whichever repeaters you have set for one specific GPS location, it should ping out to see if it can reach that repeater. And if it can, if it gets the response back like a carrier squelch from the repeater, it should automatically take and set you in that roaming zone. But again, that is something I haven't experimented with. That is something that I don't know the specifics on. However, that being said, if you are a member of Bridgecom Plus, we actually have an episode in the archives of Bridgecom Plus that has Dwayne, N6DMR. He did a whole class on how to take and set up the roaming. So I may have to go back and watch that episode this weekend if I'm not too busy trying to get the dogs to go to the dog park. See if I can manage that this weekend because it's been raining here where I'm at. So it finally is sunny today outside.
You know, it's like the old, you've got questions, we have answers. If we don't, we'll try and find out. And that's good to know. There is a huge library, and Bridgecom University, we just added over 60 new videos of cool things. And these are the short videos. They take 1 minute to 3 minutes to watch about a topic. And our old friend Cody, W3AMG, I believe was his
Yep.
call sign. He came on and produced a whole bunch that we discovered, and we're sharing them with you guys. So good stuff there. Let's go to the next question. Joseph, hello. What is DMR data acknowledge forbid setting?
That setting basically keeps the certain repeaters have certain firmwares that request a data acknowledge to be sent back from the radio. And unfortunately, with that, on some of the repeaters in their firmware, the way it's encoded, it actually will lock up the radio. So you'll have to power the radio off and power it back on. So my rule of thumb is if I don't know if the repeater is a Bridgecom repeater or a Hytera repeater, I always set that setting to disable. Because with Motorola repeaters, it's mix or match. With the firmware, some of them have different firmware, and I believe it's the 8300 series, the XPR 8300 series repeaters, that the firmware will basically cause the Anytone to say, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. This is just jumble to me. And
That locks
it
it
won't
up.
work.
And you know, that kind of reminds me of a read receipt on an email. The sender is requesting a read receipt. Send it yes or no. That's kind of like what it's doing, but it doesn't lock up my computer.
Correct.
So,
Also, I did get the headset to work. So I had to wait for the headset to actually key the or connect to the radio. So I had to press the push talk
you want to
once for
show
it
us
to connect.
again?
So we'll see if you guys can hear this now. Let me get this right here. W9JM testing 1 2 3 4 on Parrot. Now the audio quality is a lot better, but because it was so close to my mouth, it was overmodulated. I just want to make that clear. So
and pretty tinny, but that's, you know, when you use the phone system, those frequencies are pretty quiet. Bob Heil has a really cool microphone that improves the sound quality of things like that. But cool. Thank you for showing us that. With the push to talk button and a Plantronics, is that the
The Plantronics 5200 UC is what mine is.
Eurose wrote also a comment. Gotta love the spectrum of Bluetooth mode protocols.
Mm-hmm.
Here's
Because I really wanted to use those $200 AirPods that I had.
Apple loves taking your money. So Ned says, is there a GPS zone setting and a roaming zone? Two different ways? Or there is, I said it wrong. There is a GPS zone setting and a roaming zone.
Right. There's two different ways to do the roaming. But again, that's something that I am not completely up to date on how that works with the Anytones. I know with some radios, you've got to take and go through and put in the actual GPS coordinates of the repeaters, versus with the other setting, you basically have it send out from your radio when you're in that zone. And if it can get a response back from that repeater, like a carrier back from the repeater, it knows that you're there and within range of that repeater.
Cool. Joseph wrote back and said, great, thank you so much for the information on that. And Ken Dillman wrote again, said, okay, he figured out that there are two scan buttons. Scan uses the scan lists and VFO scan uses the scan limits. That's good to know. That is good to know on that one. All right, we have another comment from, is it Bo Bear or Bob Air? I'm not sure the correct way to pronounce it.
I think it's Bo Bear.
If I screw it up, I apologize. Call signs W1 CTM. That sounds kind of cool. Cody makes it look easy, but, and there's always a but, it's still a learning curve. Thanks for the answer on the AirPods. Apple finally went to Type-C port, so there's hope they may come in line with their Bluetooth.
Well, it's not only Apple. There's several different headsets that do not work with the Anytones based on the Bluetooth protocol. So it's not only Apple. Yes, I am a little bit of an Apple fanboy, but I've also spent money on more headsets than I want to count, trying to test them with the Anytones. And my original M102 still works with my Anytone, and my Plantronics Voyager works with it, and even my Jabra headset works with it. This one that I paid $50 for at the airport because I forgot my headset at home on the way to Hamcation. Oops.
That happens. That does happen. That's why it's always good to pack the night before. That way the next day you can kind of make sure you didn't forget. I did
pack. Something. The problem was I left these on the charger because I was charging them the night before.
I've done that. I left my watch on a charger and then I went, oh, shoot, I forgot to put it back on. So
I got to ask, I am Bo Bear. Does your call sign, the W1 CTM, stand for constantly talking man on the radio?
That would be interesting. I could call him up on my other screen over here on that one.
So,
hey,
had to ask.
That's cool. We've got a comment. It says from Herbert Crosby. Thanks for the comment. GPS on it will do it for you on Roam. So turn the GPS on, as well as also the APRS. So if you're doing GPS Roam.
Well, real quick, just so everybody knows tonight, again, we are doing a special BCU Live. It is free to everybody, and there is a giveaway that you can enter on our website. So make sure that you check out the YouTube page. You'll go to youtube.com/Bridgecom Systems Inc. And then click on the spot that says live, and you should see the one that says a special BCU Live. That will start at 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, and 5 Mountain and 6
Mountain Time 6 and 5 o'clock Pacific.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
He's tired. He had a rough night. Anyway, if you look behind me, there it is. By the way, so tonight we're going to give out a Skybridge. Those are great hotspots. We've been giving away the past couple weeks, but we're going to give out a hotspot tonight only for BC Plus members. But there's always a but. I have good news for anyone that isn't a BC Plus member. We will have a drawing so you can enter to get a year's worth of Bridgecom Plus, and we pay for it for you to get you more knowledge, get you more classes you can take through Bridgecom University. And I want to bring up something with Bridgecom University. You used to be able to access it via Bridgecom Systems, our homepage for the company we work for here. But that doesn't work anymore. You got to go to bridgecomuniversity.com to take the classes that we offer. And remember, they're included when you buy our stuff. And it's no one else does that. We are one of the very few. We want to make it easy for you. We want you guys to win. We want you to be DMR experts on that. So, and you look behind me, there's our show. See, it's free show, open to the public. And by the way, I wanted to bring up something too, Jeremiah. Our next show with AMA will be 2 weeks from today, October 5th. We don't do it every week. We changed the date, but we're going to every Thursday, 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock Eastern.
Every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday. Thank you. You got it. Jeremiah keeps me honest on that one. So, all right, let's see here. Oh, Bo Barrett did answer your question in the comment. His call sign did come from a longtime friend, but he's now a silent key.
Oh,
so it's a good way to honor him. Here's a good question for you, Jeremiah. The next one on the list here. It's from Ned Rice. Is there an interface for auto patch? That's for phone calls, like some analog repeaters have. Looking for something to connect on my home line.
At this time, there is not that I am aware of for DMR.
And also, yeah, sometimes with audio calls, it's, the DMR is better, but you can't always do everything. Not yet. Wait till next week or wait till tomorrow, something like that. Frank Allen, he said he is a Plus member. I am listed as a visitor on BCU Live. Is that normal?
When you say visitor, do you mean that Zoom is showing you as a visitor, or that when you try to access the courses for Bridgecom Plus, that it's saying that you're a visitor and you need to sign up for the courses? I want to make sure I'm understanding the question here.
So Frank, put that, if you can answer Jeremiah and my question on that one, because I'm in charge of Bridgecom University. I'm trying to give you guys the best training, the best stuff we can do for you, because hey, you give us money, we want to make sure you're getting more than great value on this one, on Zoom.
So what you need to do, Frank, is you actually need to go to zoom.us and create a free account. And then in your Zoom app, you're going to actually sign into that account. And then it shouldn't have you listed as a visitor anymore. If that doesn't work, then it is something with Zoom itself, but it should show you as a regular user of Zoom once you set up the account.
And so this is from me. I use Zoom quite a bit, but I have my name with my call sign after it. And Jeremiah just puts first name calls. It doesn't matter. Put your call sign with it. It really comes in handy. My amateur radio club has monthly meetings and you can attend via Zoom, but that's one reason to make it easy for you and everyone else.
The other reason to do that, if you enter the drawings that are exclusive to BC Plus, and we call out your name, we may have 3 or 4 Steves in there at one time, or 2 or 3 Franks in there at one time. But we're only going to say the person's call sign after we say the first name and the last name. So, because you have to enter your call sign for the drawing as well to be eligible for the prizes. So if you have your call sign, we can find you real quick in the Zoom window. So we can verify that you're there to win.
Yeah, I won one of these puppies, this 878. That's not the one I won. That's out in the kitchen. But I won one just before Thanksgiving last year. Unfortunately, I can't win anything else, which kind of sucks. But oh well, there's pros and cons of everything. Rose, you're absolutely correct.
You're starting early.
He is absolutely. We got to show
For
this one.
for people that don't know the running joke, the last 2 weeks and then 4 weeks before that, we had 3 different people that said pick me, and the random generator actually picked them on the first click. And
And
it's become a
and,
running joke now because that happened. And it's
and
like,
by the
you got to
way,
be kidding me.
and I'm honest with you and with Jeremiah. We don't. Oh, who do we like this week to win? It doesn't work that way. We use a program, a random number generator, and whoever it shows up to, we do have to check. If you do win with our drawings, you can't win over the previous 6 weeks. That's what we're looking, or 6 months. That's what we're
Yep.
looking for. And the odds of winning are pretty darn good. So let me see. Today's Wednesday. I guess that's one of the lotteries
Or
tonight
nope, today's Thursday.
or
Wednesday
Thursday.
was
Okay, I
yesterday,
missed.
and nobody
I'm
hit the
not.
Powerball yesterday. So
But hold on. What are the odds of winning Powerball? To get all what 6 numbers
one in
right, or
like
the
200 million.
292 million? That's pretty slim to nothing odds. You can't win unless you play. The odds of winning with BC Plus weekly drawing, pretty darn good. I'd say
About
like
one
about
in
less than
300.
not bad. Odds are really good, and I won. So, and I know that some other people have won. So,
Yep.
God, I don't see any more questions on there.
We're coming to the top of the hour, so one last time for everybody. If you need to submit a support ticket, please make sure you've got your order number. Your Amazon order number will start with a 111, a 112, a 113, a 114, and so on. And you'll want to go to this link to submit your support ticket. Your Bridgecom order number, if you have ordered within the last 6 months, will start with a 5 and will be a 5-digit number. If it was before that, it'll start with a 4. And if it's an older, more than a year old, it'll either start with a 4 or a 3. But this is the website you go to fill out a support ticket for the stuff that you've purchased through our Amazon store or through our website. If you are wanting to buy the advanced tech call because you didn't buy your radio from us, you got it from somewhere else, and you found out that their support is very lacking and you want some help, you can take and where it says order number, put in ATC, Alpha Tango Charlie, for the order number, and we'll know that that's for an advanced tech call, and we'll get you the invoice for the advanced tech call, get you a time scheduled, and get you set up so we can help you make the best of your radio.
And that's something that Bridgecom offers that other companies don't. And Jeremiah said it best too. You'd be amazed how many people unfortunately buy their radios from somebody else instead of us, but I need help. No one helps me. They refer me to you. Well, you didn't buy it from us, so unfortunately, it's going to cost you on that one. Just buy it from us. Get the extra value with our training classes. If you do the BC Plus membership, weekly training with that, plus also you get access to more courses, discounts, new product announcements like tonight, early access on products, and other stuff coming. The new BC Plus is coming. Give me some time. It's coming. It's going to be good. Good things are happening.
Makes me wonder if I should give people a hint about what tonight's new product is.
It's a new product. I'm kind of curious about the guest host. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun when we get guests on the show. So we got a minute left. What else should we if you go to bridgecomsystems.com to our website, you can look at products. We even have accessories. You can get shirts that say Bridgecom. I'm working on I'm trying to get Ron, the owner, to add some more stuff in there. It's kind of cool.
One thing that I will say is if you are on TGIF, we do have a talk group on TGIF. It is 2266. So if you've got your hotspot configured specifically for TGIF, you can go to 2266. We also have a course or a episode of Bridgecom University Live, BCU Live, that actually shows you how to add TGIF to your hotspot Works the same on all Pi-Star based hotspots, and will work the same on all of our future hotspots whenever they roll out. So make sure that you guys tune in, check out the product announcements tonight, find out what we've got in store for you guys. And Dana, anything else?
Real quick, and if you're a BC Plus member, make sure you register to win for tonight's drawing. As I said, we're going to give away a Skybridge. Pretty cool product. And if you're not a member of BC Plus, consider joining, but also make sure you register for tonight. And one final word of wisdom. You have to be there. If we call your name and call sign, winners have to be present. If you're not, we'll pass it on to somebody else.
Yep.
With that, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks again for Ask Me Anything. That will be on Thursday, October 5th. With that, I am Dana, KC0MYP, with my co-host,
Jeremiah, W9JM. 73s, everyone.
73s.